can, Charlotte can, whatever's most convenient. I know up here, Asheville's probably a little bit closer.
Yeah.
You just
But
kind
that's
of hold it
something
like that.
that also probably needs to be
And just
scheduled
kind
about a
of
week
come
or
in
two
on
ahead of time.
things.
Just because we really need another lift there present, because this thing has to be extended all the way up, and then we take another lift beside it, and that way we can get up close to the booms, because you're not supposed to extend these horizontally.
Yes. Right. Oh, so that just lets you get a look at every inch.
Yeah. We go up and that beside it while it's the booms are fully extended, and make sure there's no bits, dings anywhere on there. If we got to make adjustments, we can at that time.
Right.
As far as service on here or servicing, there's only 4 grease points on this whole machine.
Nice.
And they are, there's one right here,
Okay.
and then there's 3 across here.
Okay.
A shot or 2 every 8 hours. That's really all it needs. Because all you're lubricating there is the swing bearing and then the screw gear that's under that cover.
All right.
So as far as grease, there's nothing much to it.
So these are
It's,
all sealed.
EP2 red lithium.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine there. Your tracks, they will go in and out. So you can put a little bit of grease on here. It's pretty heavily coated right now. And it all depends on how much you actually use that as far as retracting in and out.
You said we can put it here?
Yeah, you can put it here because these are fully extended now.
Yep.
They'll retract in, and the outside of your track is generally about right here.
Now, I understand that CMC wants these in when transported on the trailer.
Out.
Because it can, well, actually in, because they can break the A-frame.
You don't pull it down with chains, but they want it
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for stability. It will flip off the trailer if you have them out. They said that in our training.
I was told explicitly by CMC,
As far
drive
as
it out, like drive
Yeah,
it on the trailer
loading,
out,
yes.
then suck them in during transport.
majority of the people leave them out when they do strap them down.
Right.
It is less stress on the undercarriage and the frame when they are sucked in just for strapping.
I mean, I've seen some horror
Yeah.
photos on the group on Facebook where the whole frame was fractured. Right. The whole frame was like cut, and they had to send in a plate, and the guy re-welded it and all that.
I saw those pictures, I think, on that Facebook page, and I think one of the main things that on one of the takeaways that you'll see in that is he was using chains.
Yes,
to tie it.
I totally understand that too.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about this undercarriage, one of the things that for the maintenance side that you want to keep a check on is these bolts on these wear pads. These are like an oil-like bushing that are in here. There's 4 around each track arm.
Okay.
And keep an eye on these and making sure that they stay tight. You can't tighten them a whole lot because they are threaded into those pads. But do keep an eye on that because we do see those come loose and they will come out from time to time. So keep an eye on them.
Okay.
So that you keep those tight.
Keeping those tight. I also heard that this plate on here can come off. Any recommendations for this Loctite on these screws?
I don't know that I put Loctite on there just for the fact that it'll make it so hard to come off, and then you'd end up having to put a pair of channel locks or something, and you'd really mar up this. Biggest thing is making sure it's pushed fully back, and then tighten the screws down because all the slots there's no back to it. So that way you just loosen these up and it slides out. You don't have to open
I
fully out.
understood.
But make sure this is pushed all the way back in and then tighten it down.
Are these the valves to
No,
override?
they are on the other side.
What is under this
Under
one?
here is the receiver for the remote, and then there's 2 control ports, and then some electrical connectors.
Electrical stuff.
Yeah, there's really nothing. You won't really have to access this side ever.
But just keep it tight.
Yeah, just make sure
Every
it's pushed in
inspection.
and tight. Another little small grease point here. It doesn't have a grease fitting, but you can take just some white lithium grease just to shop on here. Obviously with around tree work and dust and everything, it'll kind of stick. So sometimes it might get a little rough going in and out. Clean it off, a little shot of white lithium. These beds should, there's no pressure on that outrigger. These things come in and out.
While we're still on the Outriggers, the sensor that we had a lot of problems with the toy pin, and I'm sure we would have had the same number. I mean, if we had kept the CMC long enough, I'm sure we would have had problems with it also. But it was one of these sensors here getting sawdust and stuff in it, how easy is it, and what's the procedure to clean them? Do we pull these little bolts off and pull that plate off and spray it down with compressed air?
Yeah, spray it out. These, we don't see that too often on these as far as getting a bunch of debris in there because, for one, these newer ones do have the covers on it, so it protects it a little more.
Is it okay to just put compressed air in there and just do that? Every maintenance, would you recommend?
Yeah, you could just blow that out.
What I see a lot of people using is the leaf blowers whenever they're, cleaning up, finishing up on the job. They go ahead and blow this off, whether it's already on the trailer or not.
Okay.
They go ahead and go over the whole thing and get all that sawdust off. It will get in here as well. So we'll see it getting up in here. These come off really, really easy with those same type screws. So, keeping all the debris out of that area as well. We're just kind of going over it after every job.
Yeah, we have a pretty routine post-job maintenance for all our machines, and he's the one spearheading that all the time. So this is kind of what we're wanting to know about too. Every job, take covers off, air them all out, make sure they're pressed up all the way, and just hand tight.
Yeah, you can snug it down. You can tighten it down pretty
tight
good.
as crap. Like I can't even budge that. So like get it with pliers tight is what that feels like.
That might have been because this side we don't really take off during the pre-delivery inspection because there's nothing over there for us to do. We take off the other side, these, make sure all the emergency controls work, function. Because we run this thing through a small cycle all the way up, down, from basket to remote, anywhere possible, just to make sure everything's out.
One of the guys on that group who lost one of these covers put in there, people were giving advice. Somebody said that they'd replace these with like wing nut style so they could get them tighter by hand.
I mean, you could,
Is that a smart idea?
that's something you want to do. If you prefer, you could do that.
I just don't want them coming off.
Right.
So, however, we got to get them tight to do that. But I assume we're probably not supposed to use pliers.
Not really.
No,
Because,
okay.
now this side, like I said, it's not as key, but the other side, if you have to get into an emergency situation and bring somebody down, you don't want to be chasing tools to try to get them.
Exactly. And that, I really want to go over that today so that everybody's trained on that. And I want to label the valves that, one's for the tracks, and one's for the boom.
Once we pull these covers, tracks are in emergency situation alive all the time. There's a couple valves up there. We turn some just for the boom, and the other is just for outriggers.
Outriggers. Okay, that's what I meant. Outriggers and boom. So yeah, I'd like to know every single override.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
I had to do that with Toypin a lot.
We can go through every bit of that.
Okay. Well, cool. Let's just start with the overrides. I mean, we've unpacked it and
Okay.
gone out many times, but
So since we got one outrigger out, you see there's two positions to set the outriggers.
narrow and
Per side, you have to have them on the same side. So you can have this on two, which is as wide as possible, and that side could be good, and it'd be narrow. If you're or whatnot, you could set one narrow up close and the other one wide. It's going to limit your outreach on the narrow side.
right.
And you'll have full extension over here.
Should these two be narrow and those back two be wide?
Don't think it'll let you do that. I think it's per side.
Has to be per long side. Anyway, but with overrides should work regardless, right?
As far as picking outriggers up and everything, yes, they will.
So that's so we don't even necessarily have to. Like for example, there was a dude who was driving his machine and he bumped the outrigger pad up against a tree because he wasn't paying attention, and it compressed the switch, and then the whole machine stopped because it thinks the outriggers are down. So now he has to override to be able to back the machine up. Like, how would we do that?
So if it's as simple as you just want to move the machine back with the tracks, it would be this. This valve, with the engine running, is you can come up here and push these either direction. it's going to move this track.
And then
Just by pushing here.
is the other one the other track?
The other one is that side.
Okay.
So if you just kind of bump up against something here on this side, you can take this cover off, not have to turn any valves, and then push here, and this side will spin backwards.
Okay. And then if I have to do both by myself, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but is like,
It's going to
is
be
it essentially
difficult.
this right here?
Yes.
That's what I have to do
Mhm.
to go that way, and then this right here to go the other way, and it's
Yeah.
probably gonna bounce the crap out of me.
It's a little jerky doing it that way, and it's very rough because once the engine's running this hydraulic pressure there, those buttons are a lot harder to push than just right now. Right now they're a little firm, but it's a little harder when there's hydraulic pressure to it.
Another question: throttle makes a big difference in how jerky it is.
Mhm.
So if we're doing overrides, is there a way to manually set our throttle?
The engine stays at idle.
The engine stays at idle.
It does not rev up.
It does not rev up. Okay. So there is no rev up option anywhere on this machine.
Not manual.
Okay. Okay. All right. Can we just go ahead and do that real quick?
You want to do manual controls?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and set these outriggers all the same.
Two. But again, you said it doesn't have to be, right? If we're overriding.
For overriding, no. I mean, I can show you just basic functions, just up and down on the outriggers. And it doesn't matter then. But we'll just go ahead and leave them at 2. That way we can run it after the fact.
Sure.
So everything's in 2.
So now we wait for the.
So we can go ahead and start. Is because you are in manual. You put it out of range that the computer is not accepting at this point. So when you get done filling it back up, it's going to continue to beep because you were doing something that the computer didn't command it to do. So you generally have to just do a key cycle on it.
Okay.
That way it resets everything. So then when we start it back up, we should be reduced.
For the boom functions,
Okay.
override all the boom functions.
So, as you see,
Yeah, I screwed that one in.
So this one you're going to gonna screw in just like you did the other side, spin it all the way in until it stops. That's it. You don't need to torque on it or anything. Just when you feel it bottom out, that's good enough.
Okay.
And then you're gonna come back here on this one and turn this one in all the way as well.
Turn that one in all the way as well.
So by doing both, this one right here is your primary one. So you can do upper and lower boom, up and down, and extension. This one here is so you can level your jib or your basket out as you're coming down. Because when you're in manual or emergency override, it does not keep your basket level. So if there is somebody still in the basket, if you're just bringing the booms down, that basket's going to stay in that position, and it can end up tilting right here or too far forward. So under that cover is all your manual controls right there.
I'm gonna pull this off, but I want to get.
Yeah, we can just put it right here, right? So somebody has to set that where they can see it. Set that where they can see it.
So we'll flip that cover over. Show the inside of it. So that QR code right there. You can take your phone as long as you got service. I know up here it's kind of intermittent wherever you're at, but you can scan that with your phone, and that link will take you directly to videos of how to use live hydraulics. So this is not something that you're going to be using every day, how to manually do it. So 3 months from now, something happens and you've got to do this. You might not remember exactly which valve or whatnot. You can scan that and take you right to a video. It's like 2.5 minutes long. You can watch that. You've got a visual there to tell you which one to turn in, and then you come back here to this.
But we can also just look at it there.
You can do it there.
Nice if there was a sticker right here.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think?
So as long as you remember which valves to turn up there,
Okay.
then this here correlates in line with which ones to go up, down, set the boom back in, extend it back out if you need to for some reason. And then this last valve, number 5, it serves 2 purposes. It does your jib in and out, and then when you close this valve right here, it diverts over, and then when you push this same valve section here, it'll rotate your boom.
Rotate the jib
The
part of the boom?
tip, the whole boom, the turret.
The turret.
Yes.
Oh, so you have to screw that in.
Yeah, so if you're up in a tree and you're swung over to this side,
They get you both
as
these
long as
options
you're,
on this one valve.
yep, as long as you're clear, I would swing back center first.
Then you go to this.
I see. I see. That's a little complicated, but okay. All right. Yeah, this is the stuff we need to know. So I loved Platform Basket's version of it. It was just a little back panel and then just levers. That was it. It was that simple. And then for the tracks and outriggers, it was over there, panel, levers. This one, you do have to take covers off, which is a bummer, but Toypin's was really complicated. It was more complicated, I feel like, than this. At least this is simpler than that. And there's that, is that the override switch?
So this switch here,
There it is. Okay.
that needs to be cut off. But this thing's got the chassis level sensor, so it limits it to, it's either 15 or 19 degrees, I don't remember, like going up a slope. Or I've even seen it trip coming off the trailer. If you're on too much of an angle, this thing will lock your travel out where you can't move. So you can come down here and get this off. And you flip your travel bypass switch here.
And it'll make a lot of noise.
And then it's a constant beat that stays on the entire time.
Yeah.
And it'll let you, as long as you're
Overcome the
willing,
grade.
that beep lets you know that, hey, you're in override. It's on you, whatever happens. This thing will climb straight up as long as it'll hold traction.
I had to do it with the 90 that I demoed. I had to do it just to come up my hill. Did you have to do it?
I did not, but the secret to that is it will continue to go unless you let off.
Yeah, and
then it will make you go into that override. So if you don't let off of it, then you don't have to hit that. But the second you let off of one track, it's going to stop. If it's in.
Is that because it jolts a little bit, maybe?
No, it's just it will just keep going. It'll even climb straight up, but it won't. It won't do that as long as you continue to go. But it will make you use that override if you once it gets to a certain point.
That's weird. And then what's this one? I didn't.
This one back here.
Yeah.
So that's why I turned in that second valve up here that was towards the back a little bit. This one, so when you're in manual control and you're bringing it down, say you're 30 feet up in the air and your basket's sitting like this. So you'll open this rocker cover here, flip that switch, and then you've got another toggle right here on the back side of it.
Okay, here. Hop over there and see that.
So you'll flip that one on to start with, and then this one right here will
Be the tilt.
does your tilt on your basket. So, you know, if you're up that high and you're sitting there level, when you bring this down, that basket's gonna try it down. So you just sit here as you're pushing down and bringing it in. You'll just hit either up, you know, tilt it this way, or if you need to pull it back the other way, it'll dump it there.
And that one's not even on the.
No, that's not
Picture.
on the label. No.
So is there a button we have to push too, or no? It's
No.
just that.
No, if it's running right now, I can sit here and
Can we go ahead? Because in an emergency situation, getting an injured worker out of the basket, this is what we have to do, right? We have to.
It's not super fast, but yeah, just bringing your boom down, you need to keep it on that, or if you gotta go the other way, it'll go either direction. That way you keep it as low as possible. That way, if you have any person up there, they don't feel like they're getting dumped.
Yeah. So
This switch, this field,
not like that. And if we try to operate the machine, we can't just leave this in that switch, can we? Or can we?
I don't know that just having that switch on will make it, but I've always done it off with the other off. And that switch is solely for people back.
Everything else. This has to be screwed down, yes?
That's just to swing the whole switch. It stays up so you have geofocus. So there's the digital number. You see how that's moving? The basket doesn't move. So you can move it up at the same time, but it's a little slow. You have a break. Level the basket back out. There it is.
Yeah. Now, this being screwed in, if I tried to rotate it right now, it would send the braces. So it's not going to do it. But is this being screwed in, am I able to do the upper boom up a little bit?
Yeah. If that's screwed in, all these four will still be normal. Screwing that in only affects the fifth one.
The fifth one. Okay.
It only
And the
affects
fifth
it.
one is normally jib, which so
Like we were just doing, in and out on the jib. If you screw that in, then that's going to swap over.
okay, so it wasn't screwed in. So if I do, I'm just gonna do a little bit.
Upper boom, you got to go up first.
Yeah. That's upper. That's lower. Not that one. The third. Just to that. Just so it clears the frame. Why do we need to raise that up a little bit? And then you screw this in all the way, just till we feel a hard stop. Long way. And now this was our jib, but now it's going to be our rotation, and it's going to. What's it going to do? It's going to bump. It's going to go that way, right? So here's a question: if I want to turn it off, can I hit that red button, or is that a bad idea? You're just gonna mess things up. I'm just asking also if I wanted to. Yeah, there's one right here as well. There's one right here. And if I hit it, it's not gonna like send a message to all access and say, all right, this machine's locked out until we get approval back or whatever. Okay, all right, so we can hit that and then key cycle, pull it out and then key cycle and we're back. Okay, cool. Now my question for all that, I've been in situations where we have the lift for whatever reason, you know, we're in these weird situations where we need to rotate first and then lift our booms up because like we're right under a power line or we're right under a very low hanging branch. And so I need to rotate first just to get out from under the obstacle immediately above me. And I know that with the standard way of doing this, it makes you stick your upper boom like really high up in the air before it lets you even raise your lower boom at all. And I know the reason
the outriggers is the main purpose of that, making sure that it's clear of the outriggers before it lets you go down.
and also making sure that, you know, you don't drive your basket into the ground when you lift your upper or your lower boom. I get that. But my question is, in those rare situations where I don't want to lift the upper boom all the way first, is this okay to override it and then will it kind of function back normal when we want to switch back?
Well, the biggest thing I wouldn't hit BISAP, not starting off with emergency controls. For one, because this thing's got position sensors on off the swivel, and it knows in correlation with the angle of the lower boom and everything else, if it swings over, and yes, you might be visually clear of this outrigger because it's down and you're yay far above it, but this thing has got pretty much a built-in bubble that it won't let you go over the outrigger unless the boom is so high. So if you raise it up and you get it positioned however you think is right, and it's saying it's over an outrigger, it might, when you swap it back to your controls, it might not let you move.
If that happens, then we just could go back to this and go a little further with it and
You
then
could,
try to swap it back.
And another thing too is you've got that remote, so you can be standing, you know, back over here at your porch, and get that way you got a good visual here on your line, and you can move it around however you want, and then you could get it spun 90 degrees, and then you can bring that basket almost to the ground. You do get your remote off, the key cycle, or key back on, get your guy in the basket, and away you go. You can always do that. That way you can try to maneuver it without using emergency controls.
This could mess the computer up a little bit.
Yeah, because you're overriding anything that's built into the logic of the computer.
And with that thought, then, when we put it back together, like right now, it's in a setting that it would normally not allow itself to be in.
Yeah, because you're rotating
Swiveled a
this
little bit, yeah.
far, I mean, that close to the basket.
So we need to put it back exactly the way it was before the computer's going to let us.
Yeah, we need to center it back up, and also the jib's fine. It doesn't care too much about the position of the jib because you can move it throughout its whole. The other thing that we need to try to get as close as possible is that basket level, or it'll throw a code. It'll be beeping at you, and then you'll have to manually do that before you can do anything else.
Is there a level bubble on the basket that we can go off of?
It's more of a visual. I mean, now you can see how it's kind of tilted back.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's got a 30 degrees of variation, but I would, once everything's set back down, if it still looks like that, I'd bring it up just a little bit to try to keep it kind of level.
Because it'll throw a code.
Okay. And, you know, there's a switch under that cradle up there where your boom cylinder, the extension cylinder hits when it sets all the way down.
This guy right here, right?
All that switch has to be satisfied, and then this switch up here also with the boom down, or it's gonna throw codes and it's not gonna let you move. So that's why it's real particular when you get it squared back up, set back down, that everything, those two switches are satisfied. Or even if you do a key cycle, it's probably gonna beep and code at you and not let you move until you position it correctly again.
Okay, well let me see if I can do it, and then let's see if I can get it back to where it needs to be.
These marks here are
Yep.
put on, so it's a visual aid when you're doing manual controls.
Right.
So you'll just line them right back up.
Yep.
It should set right down in the crate.
Gotcha. I'm ready. So still in this mode here. I need to go this way now. Does that look good to you? Looks pretty good.
You can set your boom down a little bit closer, and then you can just barely hit that if you need to get it over.
Is that looking good?
I would go over just a touch. So hit the bottom of it.
So that way. I got it. And it's okay to hold it for a second or not?
Just that way it gets down pressure on there. Now big cylinder that holds down.
There we go.
That way it's charged up and it doesn't let it move.
So hearing that little pop, 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 pop sound is a good thing. Okay. All right. Now the top one.
Want to unscrew that? That way you don't take a chance of getting this.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. I'll do that now. So once we're centered, it's best to just unscrew this so we don't forget. Okay. Got it. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. He said it would mess up the jib controls if we forget to unscrew this, even in the remote setting. Alright, now. I guess that was good. And this I can just kind of come down hard, right? Okay, hold it for a second. Sorry, pull one all the way up. Pull your jib all the way up. Okay. Is that okay?
Now let you pull it all the way in. It'll come up to where this is about straight right here. Close to the top.
Okay, and then we cover that back.
Yep, and then we'll do a T-cycle just to reset everything.
Okay, now we're going to do a key cycle. And so, assuming we got it all back the way it was supposed to be, the computer should be...
Yeah.
Oh, you did a full
I did a
battery
full-
disconnect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cut that off and then I did that.
Then you connect, yeah, that's a battery.
If this thing's gonna sit for more than a day, I'd recommend turning that off. It's just a quarter turn, and that's off, and that's back on.
Okay.
So if you
This-
got,
That's
yes,
the
sir.
battery kill switch.
Okay.
It's on
This
there.
is off.
No, that's
That's
on.
on.
That's off.
Okay.
Makes sense. It's out.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Okay.
So everything is stowed back to a normal position,
These are still,
and then yep, those are still out. So we can, we'll turn them counterclockwise. Just turn them back out, and you'll feel a stop when it gets all the way out, and you don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on it because it can unscrew that whole cap. So that's out, and then we're back to normal operation.
This
now.
one again is only the boom, right?
Now that's only for the jib to be able to
For the jib.
to level the jib with your switch.
So we don't need it if we're doing just normal boom functions.
Well, you'll throw your basket out of level.
But even the switch has to have this then.
Yeah, you have to have that one turned in order to use that switch.
So whenever we unscrew this one, we should unscrew this one too, or screw it in.
I always do both of them at the same time.
Do them both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one is just outriggers. There's nothing else. It's just one knob.
Yep. That one and then this little
That
guy
little
there
guy. That's
is
right.
outriggers.
The little guy. Okay. So either way, there's two. And when we go down there, if we want to rotate, there's three. So it's a little bit, a little complicated. Why did Mark not give me a J? Oh man, he's cheating on me. Okay, all right. So moving on now. Okay, I should be able to turn it on with the remote now, right?
You can. You just have to turn this switch on, and then the remote. These take a little bit of time to. Oh, it's already turned on. We'll just go through a fresh start here. So right here, you'll just quarter turn.
Okay.
And it comes on, and you'll see it'll finally pop up CMC, and it'll have a loading bar there.
Yep.
It takes it a little time to truly load, but in the meantime, this green button here, you have to push and hold it for a second or two, and that links it to there.
Okay.
And even though that's still loading, we should be able to go ahead and start the machine, and we can start operating.
So, all right. It's been just a minute. I need to switch to. I want to make sure that I'm in the right the color codes here. That's turtle.
I just turned that down in case you travel, and for functions, it won't rev up.
Now it's automatically in track mode unless the outriggers are down. Unless the outriggers are down, and the outriggers are this one.
Yes.
So I'm gonna.
I would
Make it a little closer. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe up here just a little bit.
I'm just gonna kind of. Yeah, so Toyfin's remote has different colors, but this one's automatically tracks unless the outriggers are down. And then when the outriggers are down, it's automatically boom. And then, so sucking in, you can go like that, which is really cool.
Yep, it'll do that. I mean, it adds a little stress because you got 9,000 pounds sitting on it. I always recommend if you've got room to set it down the outriggers, you can do that. That way it's less stress on your undercarriage.
Okay, all right, that's
I just like to tell everybody that. It will do it just like you said there.
yeah. So it's better to support it.
Especially if you're on pavement where it's really tough and the tracks are grabbing.
Okay.
I would always put it up here first.
Yep. I'm gonna drive it forward just a little bit.
You might be able just to right track. It's got to spin it.
I do want to get away from that one bank because we just rebuilt that. Okay. That would be really sad. But wouldn't that be fun to flip the entire machine off the edge the first day we have it? That'd be so sad. Okay. All right. Anyway, so now we do our tracks by just pushing down. They all go.
Yep, you push and hold.
Yep.
And this thing will self-level to the first stage, and you keep holding until it stops.
Now, if it doesn't self-level, we override. I've had to do that before with a different machine, but not with the CMC.
This should automatically level itself out.
But even on really bad terrain? Okay. I had a hard time with...
It stops right there.
Yeah, and I can keep going if I want to go higher. Every time it stops, it's level, right? Okay.
Yeah, as long as it stops, you don't let off.
Oh, yeah, I just let off the switch right there because I thought it was done. Okay, it stopped there again.
And another thing to keep in mind, if you raise it up this high for some reason, and you go, no, I don't really want it there, and you go back down with it, it does not self-level on the way. It kind of keeps it in range, but it doesn't
self-level on the way down.
Self-level. So if you bring it back down to where your tracks is almost on the ground, and then you just push back up again and let it self-level and stop.
Now here's a question. Since once I've lifted it up,
Yep.
now trying to take my tracks
Take
in.
tracks in. Push and hold the P.
Oh, I gotta push.
Yeah, push and hold the P, and then you go in and out on your.
And does that also allow me to turn the? Yeah, look at that. Okay. So there we go. That's how we put a track on, right? Okay. If we have to put it, you gotta push and hold this though, because otherwise, it sets. These sticks become boom controls unless we hold the little P. And now I can suck those suckers in if I want to.
And you see how fast they came into.
Yeah.
That's why I recommend putting it on outriggers.
You push and hold that, and then these turn back. They turn back to tracks even though the outriggers are down. Okay. So, so now it's level. Why does it say that there's 18 pounds in the basket? And how do we fiddle with that so that it says there's negative 100 pounds in the basket? I want to be under 176 pounds so I can use the full range. But you're making me 20 pounds heavier from the start. Why can't we at least go to 0? What if I
weighs that
what
much.
if I lost all this weight and became anorexic just so I could use my machine to the full capacity of being 176 pounds with all my gear on? Or like my wife wants to use it and she's 120 pounds and she's already under that. But this thing is adding 50 pounds right from the get-go. And then, you know what I mean? It's just not fair. How do we get this close to 0 for our advantage?
18 pounds is probably about as close as it's going to go, because the way we calibrate them, or they probably calibrate from the factory, you put 240 or 340 pounds in the basket, and it gets calibrated through the computer then. And then when you take it out, you have to add a little bit more weight just to try to verify where it's at. And then as long as it's reading within 10, 15 pounds, it's okay. I mean, if you go into the negative, then there is potential something wrong with the boat cell. You never want to be in the negative, because then it really
Might not know what's going on.
Yes. But
Okay. All right. I just don't. I wish I could have full range. I mean, I'm only 200 pounds. That's not that. It's really not that bad, you know.
Yeah.
But are there 3 ranges? 176, under 176 is the most. Because like,
it's kind of, and there's a chart right here on the side.
hold that and show it to the camera. Just show it to the camera. Let me see what happens.
You can see right here on the side. It's got your chart.
Did it change?
Nope. There, 73, 214, 214, 201. It's resetting. 40.
Yeah. So there's. Oh, sorry. There's 2. Oh no, there's 3. 1. I guess there's only 2. I thought there was an I saw an advertised on CMC's website. There was an in between the 176 and the 500. That is such a huge jump. 176 pounds, and then the next range is at 500. They didn't have one for 250.
That's all logic built into that.
So dumb. See, I know I could safely go out all the way at 200 pounds, but this thing won't let me. So, okay. All right. There's nothing more to say on that then. I just want to test it. I want to see it in real life. Like, I'll go out as far as I can, and then let Jane go out as far as she can. See how much further it really is. But yeah, I was wondering about. Before we do that though, the controls on this thing. Can you go through each one? Can we go through each one of these? It says platform is green, stabilization's green, tracks are gray. Is that because?
It's because you're on outriggers.
Now, if
If you push and hold that,
they turn
then it
green.
lights up.
They turn green. Okay. Turret centered, basket centered, radio link green. Is that just means the this to the unit
linked to the unit.
is linked to the unit? Okay, so that's all green. Now it says there's 20 pounds in there, even though there ain't. And we can't take a hole saw and drill out sections of the basket, right? To reduce weight. I'm just joking. That was a joke. Okay. All right. Moving on then. If I scroll on this little guy, there's all kinds of cool stuff going on with the diagnostic, but I don't know any of it.
So the diagnostics is if this thing's beeping and you need to see what the code is, you can turn it there. And you notice when you first turned it there, it had a whole list.
It did.
You got to give it about a second, and then it goes through kind of self-checks.
Okay.
It's not.
You want to stand more centered there so you can see this better? You see? Is that good? You got a good view of it? Okay. I'm gonna go up one more menu here.
So that's your everything on the boom side, and then you can actually scroll through, and you got more menus within the aerial outputs.
Wow, this is.
Most of this you're probably
Oh wow.
is not going to be useful to you on a daily basis. So, like that, it's just showing your basket angle. And there's your jib angle.
Wow.
Pressure sensors on one of the cylinders, and then we're back to the main screen. And you can scroll over, and you should go to chassis.
Is this chassis?
So
What do the red dots mean?
that's your other position.
the
So
sensors.
You're not in that.
Ah, I see.
You're all in position 2.
Okay.
And the green on the ends, those big circles, means your pads are on the ground and it's activated those switches there.
Okay.
The same, we can scroll through, and this is just, right, left on ground, blah, blah, blah. It just kind of goes through. Shows the same thing as the picture did.
What is D plus? Engine on D
Engine
plus.
on.
D plus. What does you know? What I
I'm not
mean?
sure what that stands for, but it just,
Okay.
like if we cut the engine off, there it goes.
So the electric motor is not on. Now the engine's not on. Stabilizers. Stabilizers button.
Yeah, you're not using that now. So,
Okay.
Feedback valve, that was the little bitty knob that we turned down for Outriggers. There's a sensor on that. It's just a pressure sensor on that. It says it's good.
So if we didn't have it, if we still had it screwed in, or
It
no,
goes
it
back.
is screwed in now, or
It's
no,
back out now.
it's out.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had it screwed in, would that be off? Would that be basically
it might
telling
be
us
off,
something
but
wrong?
it's based off of a pressure sensor that's on that.
Okay.
And you can hit over again. Just more information there. Like I said, there's a lot of this that doesn't really serve you.
Is
much
this in a
purpose.
PDF online? Because like
Not sure.
if we're having problems, a lot of times it's just user error.
Sometimes, yes.
Finding out where the problem is could take a really long time, but this could help, right?
It can. Like
So-
here, lower boom on support. That's that switch under the cradle.
Yep.
Let's go back to. Okay. Nope. I thought it had upper boom on support too. There's
Upper boom out, it said, right? Upper boom in, upper boom out.
That's
None
only
of
going to
them.
be like when you activate one of the switches, you'll see the
Okay.
milliamps there.
Oh, milliamps, okay.
Okay, maybe I don't know. It's
Upper boom angle,
no,
upper boom length.
diagnostics. Well,
Yeah, mine
maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't show that many. I
doesn't
thought
have
it
a
did.
lower boom support
Ain't it?
showing.
The upper boom. It's
Or
got a
upper
switch.
boom, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Generally, if the upper boom is not making contact on that switch and you've got outriggers off the ground, you're trying to travel it, just say it wasn't pulled down real tight and it bounces a little bit and it doesn't satisfy that switch, it's going to throw all sorts of codes. It's
Okay.
going,
And you're talking the upper boom.
yeah,
The one that, yeah.
this one here, because of that switch that's right up there. Because I've seen some issues, like if somebody uses that home button on and it brings everything back down, it doesn't hold a whole lot of, how when you was manually doing it, you held it for a second or two,
Yeah.
and you heard it
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
So when you're using the home button, it doesn't pull a whole lot of down pressure on that. And then if you jump out of the basket,
It
you're
lifts
taking
up.
200 pounds out. So
Yeah.
it could jump up a little bit.
Okay.
And then that's going to lock you out of other stuff.
I got a question on that subject a little bit. When we're transporting it, is it okay to put a ratchet strap like right here to the trailer and just kind of hold it down a little bit? No, it's not okay.
No, they only want 4 points of contact.
They only want that. Okay, so
Just be your hooks on your main frame there. They don't want any strap anything at all across the jib.
really,
Nothing with it. It's just the 4 points.
and so it's not gonna mess itself up a little bit during transport.
I always tell people, if you're in the basket and you're coming down, hold down on that upper boom manually for a couple seconds after you fully seat. That way, it, like you did manually, it puts
Pressure's
pressure on
it.
there because it's got holding valves and it won't let pressure out.
And if there is something off, then we might have to
You might have to go back
override
to manual
before we
controls
can
to-
even drive it.
Right,
Got it.
exactly.
Okie doke. Well, let's you guys ready to fly it? Ready to fly. So now I can still turn this back on, right?
Yep, just hit up on that switch.
And I'm gonna use it just to make this a little easier to get to.
So right now, I turn that down into internal. So your engine's not going to rev up when you go through functions. That's just, I know you've ran one before, just kind of get used to it. Because if you turn it up to the middle, it will rev up the engine. And then when you let off the function, sometimes there's a couple seconds, maybe not seconds, but it continues to move.
Yes.
It's not a sudden stop like
Right.
a bucket truck, when you have a hand. So especially when if you're raising it, upper boom up, lower boom up, and you put the basket towards the ground, give yourself a little bit. You don't want to run it all the way to the ground because it doesn't move. So a cool thing about this is so this thing has what they call a self-open feature. You can push and hold the lower boom up, and it will extend the jib all the way out. It'll raise the upper boom, and then it'll raise the lower boom, and it'll put your basket almost at ground right here.
Say that one more time.
So this thing has self-open feature. You just push and hold your lower boom up, and it'll extend the jib all the way out. Then it will raise the upper boom to so many degrees apart, and then it'll raise your lower, and it puts your basket almost on the ground, easy to get into.
Okay. Self-open feature.
Yep, so if you keep holding that. So this way you're only at one stretch, you're holding.
But if I let it go, now I can do upper boom. This is upper boom. So I have to, if I want to have the jib down, I could raise it up with the jib down or not? So the jib has to be out. I see.
It has to be
Ah,
It has to be out.
Yeah.
Plus, if your jib is down, depending on where you're at, because it's always trying to level that back. If your jib's down and it's got the back step level, if you're trying to go up at a certain angle, the basket can't level anymore. That way it's gonna walk
Brayden,
back.
can you kind of get in front of us? So, because I know that's not going to be hearing him talk. What were you saying there?
So it's best practice to put the jib all the way out, because
Okay.
if your jib is folded in, when you try to go up at a certain, like right now, you're coming on down and this basket's coming up, it's keeping it level. But if you have this jib in, what it's going to do is going to have the jib down like this, and your basket's going to be up level. It's not going to allow you to go up or down anymore because that jib cannot level itself.
Okay. And so now it's stopped. And that is because,
It quit rotating.
well, it quit rotating, but it also, let me see if I can get my telescope out. There we go. Yeah, I
See how it creeps?
Yep.
I just want you to see that.
Yeah, Mark already ran. I went through that with him a little bit. Yeah. I know
Some
you
people will run it down
Right
too
on
close
into
and
the
then
bed.
let off.
Yep.
And I always right there is about as low as I go,
Yeah.
because if somebody gets in there, it's going to come down a little bit.
I got you. Now, do I need to turn the remote off?
So in order to get basket controls,
Yeah.
you're going to have to cut the remote off, which then this machine's going to start beeping. So you're going to have to go over there and do a key cycle. It's going
Okay.
to kill the machine. It should start beeping. So all you need to do is just cut the key off. Always wait about 5 to 10 seconds or so.
You did a battery kill switch?
I didn't do the kill
Oh,
switch, just the main ignition switch. And then you cut it back on right here.
Okay.
And as long as you don't hear any beeping, it's not trying to pair to the remote or anything, then you're able to get in the basket and do everything from there.
All right. Now, Chief, I brought the tape. It's on the back of black there on the fuel, on the passenger side. You'll just hook it onto here, see how far out I can reach. I just really want to know. Yeah, look at how much that sagged. Where? It's on the, it's beside the, yeah, you got it. Oh yeah. Where? Wherever, the front. Once I'm extended out all the way. There's an extra lanyard in the bag that's on your harness. I'm sorry, on a harness. You know, when I go out, you'll just hook it onto there and then run it out underneath me. We're gonna see how far I'm gonna be up in the air. Yeah. Anyways, there's a lanyard in that extra bag, Jay. It's a green bag on black where he was at.
Very cool.
This is just phone or internet.
still going up.
That's why I'm over power lines so they catch me. Jib option is solid red light. If I turn it a little bit, now the light is blinking. And then if I'm trying to find back center, it'll turn back solid. Is that? And I'm not quite centered.
There's a magnetic pickup right here. So you've got a piece of metal under about that big. You've got a sensor here.
Okay.
So you've got a little variation there. It's not going to be
Doesn't have to
right
be
there.
perfect.
Doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's picking up.
And the home button will not work
Unless the basket's centered.
unless the basket is centered.
Correct.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, all right. If you like my trick, get out a little further. Now you can. I keep trying to telescope out, and I keep moving the jib basket instead. That's irritating, but whatever. There we go. You have to remember to hit that green button. If you don't remember to hit that green button, it ain't gonna work. Jane, you ready?
Yeah.
Don't be scared. You know that it can. You want me to? Okay. All right. So I'm going to switch over to the remote. So the best way to do that is probably turn it off, right?
You can, when you turn the remote on and hit the green button, it takes over.
I turn the remote on, I hit the green button, it takes over.
Mhm.
Well, then in that case, let's try that. Turn that on. All right. So I got how much extra feet? 4? I got about 4 extra feet.
Yeah.
Okay. By curling the jib in, then telescoping out max, then switching back to jib, going
Okay.
back out. And so we're gonna do it the same way. We're gonna do just regular jib normal for her, see where it puts her, then see if I can trick it again for a few extra feet from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Braden, is that are you good here? Awesome. Braden, is that still going? You still good on that?
It after an hour, it may be doing a video, but
Okay.
it's still. Yeah,
Cool.
we're good though.
All right, so Jane, go ahead and turn it back on by hitting the power button. Right. Okay. And now I'm going to try to hijack the controls.
You want you to do this?
I'm going to turn this on. Okay.
So you've got a petulant employee in the basket refusing to go any higher.
Yeah, he's refusing to go out farther.
farther.
It's like, quit being scared. Go. All right, and that's when I can hijack his controls. Good deal. All right. So I'm holding this little button. Is there anything on the top display that's telling me? No?
Not until it fully loads, and it'll give you that green.
It'll give me that green bar.
It just takes that screen a little while to load through.
Okay. Well, we'll just wait. Jane, are you getting... It is a cool looking machine. I think it's the coolest of all the brands. Looking machine, at least, you know.
Yeah.
It's got enough cool features, or it's got enough functionality features that you know, put it above. I did a lot of research. I mean, I did a lot of demos of different brands.
Yeah.
And
It moves a lot faster than the toy.
you think it moves faster? I
Yes.
don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think speed is CMC's strength, not aerial speed. Ground speed, yeah.
That's what I was talking about. I mean, located.
The ground speed is fast, yeah, very fast. It's good. All right. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna start by suck it in just a little bit, just to get her off the. And now, if at any point you feel like you need to stop the machine, I probably shouldn't tell her this. You can hit that red button, but only if I'm not paying attention and dropping you into power lines. Okay. I'm gonna watch you. Should I take her all the way up to 100 feet? But I might
You
get
want a
in.
happy life?
I might get in trouble.
Is that your wife?
That's my wife.
Say no.
You'll hear about it later.
No.
I would say no on that.
Above those lines. And I'm gonna rotate. So it pays to have a woman on the crew in a, with a CMC spider lift. Holy smokes, that's the difference between making that one hazardous cut that you can't reach and not, you know what I mean? If there's like, obviously if there's a cliff or something here.
Can you go higher up? Or
So yeah, now we can go higher.
okay,
from
that's
here.
as far as you can
Let's try
extend.
going-
Oh.
Let's scoot out a little bit. Sorry, I'm gonna take you the other way. All right, now I'm gonna take you up a little bit. Okay, it won't let me. I'm gonna telescope in a bit. Now I'm gonna take you up. No, it still won't let me. I'm gonna telescope in some more. turret, but the basket being centered, it's telling me right there. Okay. That's really cool. I love this remote. This remote is also the coolest remote, I think. Although I didn't get to really see platform basket's remote very much, so I didn't have a totally fair comparison with that, but advertises 50 feet, but as I was looking at the footprint or the working envelope picture, is that like just at a really low, right?
As far as that goes, I'm not 100% sure. I'm more on the technical side than I am 100% all the specs. I do know just from running these things and seeing other people run them, a lot of things that affects it is the way your boom angles. So if your upper boom is up more, you're going to be able to fully extend the extension, but you're not going to have your outreach because you're up a little high.
And also, it also is, I think, affected by, like, let's see here. If I go down, as long as I miss those lines, let me see. It'll start pulling it backwards. And as that weight shifts back there, it's probably going to let me go.
You might be able to go out further, but at the same time, your boom extension might be longer, but your outreach might not. It all depends.
Yeah. Let's see. Because I think if I go over to this, well, I guess that's on the wrong thing. Oh, I was gonna stop. I was gonna pull you in more.
Okay,
But
well, that was really close. Is this thing electric?
you're not as close as you think, but yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, you're fine.
All right, so she hit the button.
She hit the button.
all right, let me show you something.
But hey, that's the right thing to do when in doubt.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You answered my question. If I hit a line, am I getting
No,
this?
that's insulated. Those lines are also insulated. They're just house drops.
Okay.
It's only 240 volts.
Oh my.
You'd have to contact them both.
So, say something happens,
Okay.
like just now, she hit the switch.
She hit the switch.
All right, you got a guy up there that passes out, hits it or something before he goes down.
Got it.
All right, so right now you notice this bottom battery light's not on. Normal operation, that light comes on.
Okay.
When that light's out, that is generally an e-stop is pushed. Somewhere on the chassis of the machine, or up there.
And there's two on the chassis?
Yes.
Okay.
There's one here and there's one under the controls.
Okay.
So, say something happens up there, the guy hits it, she hits it, somebody. This emergency bypass, you flip that back on,
Now I can turn
now
it on.
you can do everything from here again. That emergency bypass, like it says, emergency, if somebody hits that basket, e-stop up there, you have the opportunity to
But
override it here.
does she have to pull it still?
Mm.
Well,
No.
I'm not turning on.
No, because the e-stop kills
Oh,
everything.
that's right. I got you. That makes sense. Look at that. Okay. Now, keep looking in. But that's dangerous. Okay. I'm going to take you out as far as I can under the lines now. Because this thing does advertise 50 feet. But it was only like 10 feet off the ground. Which is kind of stupid. Who cares about 50 feet, 10 feet off the ground?
You forgot your step ladder.
Yeah, if you forgot your stuff. Forgot your pole pruner. I had to bring out my $200,000 spider lift. So now I'm too far.
It's a bad spot to test.
That's cool. Now your petulant employee says, I'm mad at you, I'm not coming down, I'm hitting the red button.
Stuck up there.
You can't make me come down. You can override even that. That is awesome.
Pretty neat.
They thought of everything.
That's pretty dang neat.
That's Italian flair.
Like a big spider.
Yeah. Oh, and it's painted Italian racing red. Just like a Ferrari. That's pretty cool.
200,000, I would never. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Instead of doing
While you're waiting, can you go over all your maintenance questions with William? Go ahead and follow him around.
There's one now.
So there's a cover, and I've got 4 idlers here, right? They've got
They're
standard
they're
bearings.
sealed. It's sealed, so there's no grease on those.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The only thing is, maybe over time your tracks might get loose. They're good and tight now.
Yeah.
You'll take that cover off and there'll be grease fitting in there.
Grease fitting,
Yeah.
grease spreading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
just extend it out.
If I was using pressure gauge, the tension, the pressure, you know what I mean?
It's more of a
Do a straight
measurement.
edge?
Yeah, it's more of a
That's tight.
measurement. Yeah. So
That's very tight compared to what we're running on the skid. That's very tight. So seal bearings, if there's any damage, replace the entire idler. Okay. All right.
Those grease points at?
Grease points are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Plus we can grease these, just shoot grease in them.
Okay, and then we can spray this stuff out with the air compressor too.
Spray it up with air.
Yeah.
So we'll wash it, spray it off, clean it off with the blower. I've got those 4 grease points with the zerks. Grease the, what do you call those?
just the pins.
The pins and zerk. Just grease them.
Yeah, just a
Squish
little white
grease in them.
lithium is fine.
Lithium, okay. Red lithium was what we use. That's okay.
Like we always use white lithium in a spray can.
Okay.
Yeah. When that pins up, you can just a little squirt on there. That just helps it slide in and out a little easier.
Okay. What other lube points?
There's really not much
Not
else.
much, is there?
No. If you see, like when they're working this thing and they extend the boom out, you see that there's a whole bunch of dust collecting on the booms.
Yeah.
That if there's a way to try to wipe that down or what, then white lithium is all that goes on the boom. There's not a lot of pads in there.
Yeah.
And all it needs is white lithium.
Okay. All right. Hydraulic level. What hydraulic fluid is recommended?
32 weight.
Okay. All right. And oil change intervals. 1,000 hours. Less.
500.
500 hours. Okay. Cool. That's good.
Generally, it all depends on how many hours y'all put on it a year. But what I tell most people is I recommend doing the service at least once a year. And the way we normally do it is when you're going to have it down for an annual inspection, we do a full service, which is the engine service, which this small is a little 3-cylinder Kubota. There's not much to it. Air, fuel, and oil. That's all it is. And then there's 3 hydraulic filters. One here, and one just like this on the other side.
Okay.
I recommend do everything annual. That way you're only down one time.
Okay.
You know, if you run it
It just makes sense that way.
250, 500 hours a year, and you want to change, do that engine service on your own. Some people do.
Are you able to pick
But-
one of the flowers now?
Is there anywhere I can test the hydraulic pressure?
Okay.
Yeah, there's ports on here.
I'm gonna let you bring yourself down, okay?
More than likely, you'll never have to do that
If you undo the red button
because if
already,
you start having hydraulic issue
pull the red button out.
and we're having to
Go ahead, pull
adjust
it out.
pressures or stuff, it probably needs to be done by us because it's a it's a spec thing, safety thing, because you don't want to overpressurize a cylinder.
Go ahead, try to hit
These
the
things are spec'd out to only hold a certain amount.
Even if I'm not adjusting it, my employer will want me to keep
Okay.
an eye on it.
power button.
I mean, you can do that. There's
And
test
by the
ports
way,
here, and here.
Pull
Okay.
the collar.
There's actually
and then
some
turn that
right
stick
there.
to the left, and you'll
Okay,
tuck the
yeah, I see.
telescope in.
Yeah, there's one there.
Is it working?
Okay.
Okay.
See how high that is?
Look at that.
I can't get that.
Way up there.
Okay.
Okay. Now it should work now. Push the power button.
Are you?
Can't wait to use this.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
All right.
No, I'm good.
What do you think your biggest questions are that you get? Like, is it just? I mean, I don't know.
You went through a lot of the things, a lot of the nuances get. And those switches right there, the boom lays on. You know, if you wasn't to get it down seated right and it does go down the road and you hit a bump or what have you, check those arms first if it won't fly. Those are the two things that I see the most of. The newer remotes that they have, giving you all the sensors and letting you know what outrigger. The older remotes just told you, hey, there's an outrigger issue. Well, which one? Well, now these new ones, they give you that information. So
Now,
that's very valuable.
do these need to be blown out as well?
Not really.
Not really.
No. Just the sensor area up there around where you change the settings.
Okay.
That's really the only place that there's a sensor on that portion of it that you really got to worry about.
Do you recommend we blow the air filter out as part of our every service?
Just depending on how dusty the conditions are, but yes, I mean, not daily, but I would say on a weekly, bi-weekly check, that's not a bad.
Using compressed air is okay to do that. Low pressure.
The filter manufacturers are going to tell you no,
Of course.
but
They want us to buy another filter every 3 months.
exactly.
But it's Kubota, right? So
Correct.
we've been doing Kubota diesel engines with our mini skid. Well, this is a cool machine. How fuel efficient are they? By y'all's experience, are they as fuel efficient as like the SK800 Ditch Witch? That thing is so
Honestly,
fuel efficient.
I've never been out a full day with somebody, so I'm not sure.
It doesn't have that big of a tank, so it's it can go through 8 to 10 hour day, depending on how much you're letting it run too.
Now, is that red liquid the diesel tank? Okay. What hydraulic oil does it take?
32.
AW32. Okay. What brand hydraulic oil? I know not all hydraulic oils are made the same. What brand does CMC recommend, or does ACT recommend? Like, if we're getting hydraulic oil from Tractor Supply and paying $50 versus $100.
I think most AW, the 46 and the 32 are all, pretty much the standard. Once you get into some of the ones that John Deere and Bobcat and some of the others that they mandate, it's not, they'll give you the viscosity and all that stuff, all the other additives that they're putting in it.
It says on the tank HDZ 32.
HDZ is,
I don't know if that's a particular huge brand, but I know pretty much any AW32 weight is compatible.
right, but you guys aren't using cheap stuff like from Tractor Supply or Arbor Freight, or not Arbor Freight, but Rural King. Everybody has their 32 brand, and they're not necessarily good.
Right.
So,
I mean, I would recommend just something high quality that you feel comfortable with. As long as it's when that 32 weight.
yeah. Not UTF.
$500 intervals on oil change.
Okay.
And you could do it sooner. Then you could run it 250. Whatever you want to do on that.
Oh, we tested hydraulic pressure. I had to test it under loop, correct?
Yeah, you will test it.
What should I read?
Depends on where you check. The two mains that you see sticking out up top, I think that's 220 bar.
Okay.
It steps down a little bit at the back. I think it's 210.
Okay. Awesome.
But that will be max pressure, not just working pressure, because it's probably only going to be 100, 150, extending or
How do
something.
I achieve max pressure for a test rig?
It would be fully maxing out a bunch.
Okay. So let's raise it up to test.
Yeah, you'd have to raise it all the way up or extend all the way out, something like that.
could make the swivel, but that's okay. You can just come down here. All right. Any other things? Did we miss anything important?
Don't believe so.
No.
How much do these cost?
These are nice. I love these Outrigger packs.
I don't know cost on that. We damaged the one on the toy pin, didn't we?
The toy pin one was flimsy.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it. But the toy pin had a much better removal thing here, which is this little pinch and pull. But the thing I really like about the CMC, yeah, the thing I really like about the CMC is the corners are open, so all the debris can come flying out.
Yeah, nice.
You catching all that in the frame? Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But great. You want to fly it next? But these guys, I don't want to take any more of their time because I know you guys have stuff to do as well. But do you recommend doubling this up sometimes with a piece of plywood, like a square of plywood? How much pressure is this putting in a manicured yard?
It actually does pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty long.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is the condition of the grain.
Yeah.
Like here, obviously, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Packed in. If you can, the way I've always done it, like that 1 yard, if you can go over there and you put your heel down in it, I would definitely set it down a few times, maybe up and down, just to make sure it's going to settle. Because once you come up off the ground, this stays how it is right now,
and then it
moves any, you're locked out. You've got to do manual controls to bring everything back down before you can move out.
So that's either the operator has to rappel out with the rope, or the ground team has to really know how to do that.
Yeah. Another good question I asked is where the stuff is like that too.
100%.
Up on top of it.
Does this thing have enough weight to damage a septic tank? It's 10,000.
From a subject background, probably 20, 30 years ago, they were putting them in 4 foot deep, and to answer your question, no. But nowadays, we're putting them right on top of the ground. There's a lot of them are only this deep, so you do need to, on any new, I'd say within the last 20 years, you need to ask that question.
Wow, I did not know that.
We actually have one in Asheville right now. I don't remember who, it's probably not right to even say, but they were tracking around the yard. They asked the homeowner where the septic is. They said, oh, it's over here. They tracked around this side of the home and was just going across, not set up, just traveling across. They hit the top of the tank, it caved in, and it laid the machine over.
It laid the machine over? Oh my gosh. Now, do ground protection mats protect against that? We just placed an order of like 20 Alterna mats. Those 4x8 ABS plastic, about ½ inch. Aren't they cheap for about ½ inch thick?
Yeah.
How much is that going to help us? A lot, right?
That'll probably help out
quite a bit.
Supposed to load out quite a bit. It would prevent a catastrophe like that more than likely, right? Yeah.
And it helps too on marring up the yard.
Yeah. Cool. Jane, honey, come on. You can sit down right here. Oh man, I'm glad we talked about that. Jeez, holy cow, that's terrifying. And I mean, at that point, the homeowner told him the wrong thing. They were doing everything right, and they still laid their machine over. Oh my Lord. And then the procedure for
Yeah, a
that.
lot of homes have the old septic tank, and now they got a new one, and the homeowner doesn't even know about the old one.
So the procedure for that then would be turn the machine off immediately, get some kind of recovery wrecker out, carefully turn it back over, then what?
It has to be thoroughly inspected.
Yeah.
We have to do that. If there's any, because of sudden impact on the side, where your side adjustments are for your boom, if they leave dimples in the metal of the boom, that boom section has to be replaced.
Oh my God. Oh, that is sad.
We needed that inspection. Load it up, take it to ACT in Asheville. Yeah, really the quickest thing to do. Just get in contact with them and schedule it 1 to 2 weeks. All right.
The home button's gonna try to take you back all the way around. and that tree's in the way. So you just have to do your upper boom down and then telescope until you're within reach. Just let go of that control before, because it's gonna drift a little bit. It's gonna drift a couple feet. Does that make sense?
Which one's the telescope?
Right stick over to the right. Just a little ways away before she's doing full removals on her own, I guess.
Only way to learn is this.
But I'll tell you, I'm so blessed to have her because she handles so much. She did a lot of the paperwork leading up to this. Because I've been on the jobs and stuff. I did the research, I knew the machine that we wanted, but she made it happen. So I just hope that I can talk her into going all the way up. One day we watch a sunset together.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because it can take 500 pounds.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. It's not on a windy. Oh, wind. That's another. Wind conditions. Is there a sticker anywhere that says wind conditions?
There should be.
If there's not a sticker, I know it's in the manual.
Okay.
I think it's 25-mile-an-hour winds.
Where is the manual?
It is right there.
Right
that
there.
cover in that white box.
Can ACT send me a PDF version of it?
I'm not sure. I mean, we might could. Like, I've got access to service information. I'm not sure that I've got an owner's or operator's manual.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, whatever resources you're allowed to share with us, we would appreciate, because we like to do as much taking care of this as we can. Is that working?
It's probably too
You're
close.
too close?
It's not gonna raise the upper boom up
Yeah.
and lower boom up.
You're too close to this. You need to raise your upper boom and raise your lower boom more. Your upper boom has to be up more, and your lower boom has to be all the way up before it'll work. That's another thing, is just learning how to come down is hard at first. You know, knowing all those ranges. Do your upper boom up. You have to do upper boom, up, left, right, left stick up. You've done that. You don't have to push anything. Left stick up, left stick. Right stick. Sorry, right stick up. There you go. Keep going. Okay, now do left stick up. That's good. That's good. Left stick up all the way. Now you can go down. Right stick to the right. That's right. You can go for about a couple feet, and then just remember it's going to drift. You can go more. You can go more. You can go more and make it. Okay. You have to jump down. But anyways, all right. Well, I guess that concludes our intro to the spider lift and all our questions. I mean, I thought of all the technical questions that I could think of. I mean, I asked all of the ones I could think of. And you know, other than like actually doing it, I'm sure we're gonna run into situations where
we bump into something or something's going to cause us a sensor to trip for whatever reason. But the overrides, we know where the overrides are. So that's what it's all about. I thank you for your time.
No problem at all.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys have a safe drive back. And yeah, I guess we'll.
Yeah, thank you.
You want us to go ahead and throw these covers back on for you?
We can do it.
Okay.
I think. Right? Yeah,
And
Jason.
there's real simple. They're just gonna
Yeah.
sit in place.
Maybe just watch us do it. Make sure we did it right as the last good thing to do. But I don't think we should need to do the overrides today. So